y'all, welcome to Flourish with Kendra. I'm Kendra. I'm a gardener in Virginia Zone 8A, and today is Fertilizer Friday. I need to harvest as well, so I'm going to harvest and then I'm going to fertilize the garden, and I thought I'd bring you guys along, so come on. Over here I have all of my milk jugs lined up and already filled up with the stinky stuff, the Alaska fish fertilizer. I use this most of the time for like all of my leafy greens and things. With this, I like to fill my jugs up a day before I add the fish fertilizer. So yesterday, maybe around like 6 in the morning, I came out, filled the jugs up with water. I leave the caps off for the entire 24 hours so that the chlorine or whatever is in the water can kind of evaporate off. And then this morning I came out and filled these with the fish fertilizer. I'll put on the screen how many tablespoons it is, and now all I have to do is put them in my watering can and water the garden. But I wanted to give an idea of what I do. I do not fertilize every single plant that I have with fish fertilizer, like the flowers and things like that. I do a liquid bone meal, or I'll use a flowering and fruiting type of fertilizer for them. I can't think of the actual name off the top of my head, but I will insert a picture of it if I can remember to do that. But my herbs and things like that and my leafy greens do get fish fertilizer. So I've already taken my shade cloth off of these beds just so that I can go ahead and easily fertilize them and then put the shade cloth back on, because as you can see, that sun is out and it is beaming. And I will not be out here later because I'm going to the gym and I do not want to come out here after 7 because the mosquitoes be out here. This is not the perfect time of day to fertilize your garden either. They say like super early in the morning or later in the afternoon. It is early in the morning. It's around 8:30. I'm gonna go ahead and start harvesting some things. But look at these chive flowers. So I can get them now because they are open. And I plan to add them to like a vinaigrette. I did try the chives in the oil and butter and it was really good, so definitely give that a try. I'm gonna get some more lettuce because I have a ton of it again, so go ahead and harvest some of that and then we'll get to fertilizing. All right, so we have all this lettuce that needs to be harvested again. I could let it grow a little bit longer, but we have been really enjoying this lettuce. Tastes really good. This is probably the most productive thing in my garden right now. I'll be happy when I get some tomatoes, but I haven't even planted those out yet because we have still been getting cold days, and I'm scared. I am terrified to plant my stuff out because I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday we had like 35-40 degree nights, so I was like, I'm not planting my stuff out yet. I'm scared, but I'm living through the other people in the warmer zones that can do that. I don't want all my hard work on my seedlings to go to waste. We have a long growing season anyway, so there's no point in me rushing to plant my things outside. Look at this big old leaf, y'all. And I'm gonna harvest it pretty heavily like I did last time, just in case it bolts and I'm not able to harvest from it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest it pretty heavily and just leave the middle leaves so that it can continue growing. If you want to continue harvesting from your greens and things like that, always leave the smaller leaves in the middle so that they can still grow. Because if you pick all the leaves, then there's no way for them to photosynthesize and continue growing. So definitely leave some leaves on the plant. But I'm going to harvest this pretty heavily. I'm gonna get some of this lettuce. I kind of prefer the lettuce. This is it says Paris Island. We've been making these. My husband likes these. It's like a buffalo chicken tender lettuce type of salad. So you do like lettuce, the buffalo chicken tenders, you cut them up. He adds French fries to his. So unhealthy. I'm like, what's the point of the salad if you're gonna eat it with some French fries? Well, we've been enjoying this. I'm really grateful to be able to feed my family from a garden. My garden has not always been this size. I definitely started with some grow bags and little pots on the patio. It was, when I tell y'all, when I realized I could keep a plant alive outside, oh, this patio was filled with grow bags. I know my husband was so tired of coming out here and we can barely walk on the patio, but at first we didn't really like come outside like that. And I don't know, I had the urge to start a garden. I don't know anyone who gardens, and I just had the urge to start, and I started with grow bags. So you do not have to have a big garden to garden. You can have grow bags and pots and things like that. Do what you can, grow what you can, start small. Do not go ham or out of the blue, because you want to make sure that you like doing this first. And it is, like, to me, it's a form of therapy. I really love gardening. I can't even imagine not doing it now. Now, I have been gardening for, I think, almost 4 years now. And I started on the patio with the grow bags and the little pots that I got from Dollar Tree. And every year I have grown the garden. So started on the patio, then I went to a little bit of space out here in that, like a little portion of the space I have now, and then we grew a little bit more. So yeah, I started my garden on the patio, and then I had a little bit of space. So each year I grew a little bit. I did not just start a garden and get on this scale of a garden. Definitely start small, because gardening can be expensive if you allow it to be. And these beds and things are expensive. But I have been shopping the sales for these companies. Over the course of a few years, I have been purchasing beds here and there. I do not purchase everything all at once. I am a budget person. I don't like to spend a lot of money. All of my green stalks and things like that have been purchased through quite a bit of their sales as well. I wanted green stalks for a while before I actually bit the bullet and bought one. And now I'm like addicted to them. But I definitely love the green stalks. I love my garden beds. I don't think I'm going to expand anymore, just because I feel like I have well over enough space to be able to provide enough food for my family and myself and other people. You know, I don't know. I did want something that was going to be pretty uniform, like the same amount of things on each side. And I mentioned this in my last video as well, but for those who didn't watch that video, yes, I have a lot of things, quite a bit of beds. I've been collecting them for a few years. So I've had the beds for, some of them I've had for over 2 years before I even put them out here, just because I wanted to make sure I had everything I needed. I took time and made sure that I figured out what I wanted my layout to look like and what I wanted my garden to look like. I wanted to thoroughly think about accessibility. So like getting around my garden and stuff like that, I wanted to make sure that I could get around comfortably, harvest comfortably, be able to see things without having to be like cluttered. I don't like being cluttered or feeling like I don't have enough space to move around in my space. So that was one of the things, because when I first did the garden before this one, I did not like that I felt like I wasn't able to access certain parts of my garden during the season, because things will be humongous and all out in the alleyway. So that is something that I really tried to make sure I paid attention to. And I want to show y'all this ladybug. Look at this ladybug. But look at this ladybug in there eating aphids and stuff like that, doing the job. Look, it's trying to hide from me. But look how cute. Oh, keep doing your job, little ladybug. But yeah, when you're starting your garden, start small. Do not go ham. You don't have to have a huge garden like everybody else. Not right out the gate anyway, just because. But yeah, starting a garden and stuff, it's a lot. It's you just want to make sure that you place things where you don't feel like you would move them for a while, especially when you have big beds like the 8x4 beds. It took a lot of soil to fill those beds up, and it takes a lot of soil to fill beds anyway. But who wants to be moving soil just because you don't like the placement? And I did that with my garden. I took the beds up that I had. Granted, thank goodness I only had how many beds? I think I had like 6 or 7 beds. and I didn't like the placement. I didn't think about it, but that's something that I would definitely tell people to take into account when you start putting your beds down. Don't just put them anywhere. Make sure you know where you want them to be. Think about how big plants could get and things, because it's easy to put a lot of stuff in a small space, but it's not easy to move that stuff from that space. It takes time and a lot of effort. That stuff is heavy. Ooh, it's heavy. We had to move, how many? 17 cubic yards of soil, because we purchased through this materials place near us to fill the beds, and then we also had a pool space that we were filling, so we filled that space first. And I kept telling my husband, I'm so glad that we are active and like we are in the gym a lot, because we were beat and we are active, decently strong people, and we were so tired, y'all. We took time off from the gym to do this. And if you know, we don't miss the gym for nothing, but we were so tired. So definitely think about how you want your garden beds to be placed out into the garden. Think about accessibility, think about lighting, think about airflow. There's a lot of things that goes into account that we don't think about when we first start gardening, because we're so excited to get our beds put up. But definitely think about where, like, the direction that your sun comes from, because you don't want your beds to be so close together that your plants are growing and shading other plants, and then you're wondering why they're not doing well. But it's usually because they're not getting enough light or enough airflow. But yeah, just definitely, but I would say start your gardens if you want to. If that is a goal of yours, I would definitely start it, because it's definitely therapeutic out here. I need my snips for this. But it's very therapeutic out here. There's another ladybug out here. But I have such a good time out here. My daughter loves being out here. My husband isn't a outdoorsy person, but he comes out here when we need him. But if you have something in your garden that is really, really producing really well for you, what is it? Because this lettuce has been going crazy out here. And I have quite a bit that I just harvested. I mean, you guys are watching me, but like every time I put something down into the thing, I'm like, I don't know if we can eat it this fast. Ooh, that little onion is getting big up there. I have quite a bit of ladybugs in here too. They are doing so good out here. And I'm sorry if the lighting is dark. It's just that my sun is over top of the trees up here, and my green stalk is over here. This is probably a good place to have the lettuce tower anyway, just because of how hot it gets. But quite a bit of lettuce. I'll harvest as much as I can. All right, I have harvested quite a bit of the lettuce. This is the harvest so far. Hopefully you guys can see it because of the sun and the shade and stuff. All right, so now I'm over here at my other green stalk, and I have some Morris head and collards that I'm gonna harvest from up here. They're not big like the ones that are over there, but they're still edible, so we're gonna get them. I don't want to do too much off of this one. I'm gonna get some because I don't want to have a little bit like I did last time. And these are collards too. But I do find that harvesting from your collards and stuff, and from your plants, especially if you are treating your plants as a cut and come again, it does trigger them to produce more. So I didn't harvest from them last week, but I'm gonna do it this week just to see if I can get more, or just so I can get these ones to get a little bit bigger. But the ones I harvested last week, they were so good. My daughter was like, taking her fork and trying to eat the juice out of the bowl. Those collards were so good. I told y'all I was gonna harvest them even if I only got a bowl. We had three bowls, but we'll have more this time. All right, I think I'm good on this one, because I think those are cauliflowers and things like that. This is what the harvest is looking like thus far. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is what it's looking like thus far. Lots of lettuce, a little bit of collards in here. We're gonna go to the other beds and see what we can get to as well, so we can see what we can get over here. Now I have lettuce back here, but I don't know if I want to harvest it yet. It's starting to grow like really well though. Like, I'm surprised because it was looking pathetic at first. So I think I'm gonna leave it because it's in the shade. So I don't think that it'll bolt as quickly as the other places like over there that I have lettuce. I'm gonna leave those ones alone and allow them to get bigger. I'm gonna go over here and see what else I can get. Oh yeah, and look at my strawberries. They are starting to turn red. I have quite a few. My daughter came out here and picked one the other day and ate it. There's one down there as well. Well, we have quite a bit up here. We're just waiting for them to start ripening. There's some right here. But I want them to turn a little bit more red before I harvest those, just because they taste kind of sour. If you harvest them too soon or before they start, I got a spider web. But I don't want to harvest my strawberries too soon because I feel like they are going to be sour, and I don't want no sour strawberries. So I'm going to harvest this lettuce, but I want you guys to see it. This bed is filling out so good, and this is the one that I planted out last, and it is way more full than the others. So I'm gonna get some of this lettuce because it's kind of long. I think this is salad bowl. I'm gonna get some so that we can have lettuce. We can have some salads for a few days. Now I can't wait until the tomatoes, until I plant those out, just so that I can get some of the little cherry tomatoes and add it to my salads. Those are always so good. So when I first put this insect netting and shade cloth on, I started to worry about like airflow and things like that, but it seems like they are doing really well. I don't see any like powdery mildew or anything like that on these, so I think that they are getting, I mean, I know that it has like holes and stuff in the shade cloth and the netting, but still, like, too much of layering can hinder your plants. So I'm going to keep the insect netting on just because I don't want the cabbage moths and stuff to get in here. And then on days that I don't need the shade cloth, I still have the netting to protect my plants. And I leave it on all day, all night, because I don't feel like coming out here every day and removing and putting it back on and stuff. But today I took it off just so that I can come out here and fertilize, and so that they can get some sun or some air. I'm getting way more stuff than I thought I would get today. I didn't think I would get this much lettuce. I'll be giving some of this away. This is too much. I could leave it and not harvest it, but it'll grow back. And I do love sharing my harvest. I have older neighbors that I do want to start sharing my harvest with. I'm picking some extra things so I can share with them and my family too. And I saw that Greenstock has a sale going on. Did y'all buy anything from there? Because I know I did. I got those carrot caps because I have been wanting to find something to plug the water reservoir so that when I'm watering it, water doesn't just go straight through the center of the green stalk. That was a thing that I had made a video about it, but I deleted it because I'm like, people are gonna think I'm crazy for saying this. Then I seen other people had said the same, and I'm like, okay, well, I definitely need something to plug it, but I couldn't find anything that will plug it good enough. So I bought those the other day, and I really want the raspberry, 2 of them. They have that Mother's Day sale every year, and I always want something. I'm not gonna say I always need, but I always want something from them. That's all I'm gonna get from them. I didn't think I was gonna need both of my little, these, but I definitely feel like I need them. I'm gonna leave that strawberry. I hope the birds don't eat my strawberry, but I don't want to pick it right now because I want it to get a little bit more red, and I want my daughter to pick it too. She loves picking the strawberries. But I think I'm gonna leave these lettuces alone so that they can get a little bit bigger. This bed is also decently shaded for most of the afternoon, so I don't really worry about these ones. I mean, they're still out in the heat, but I don't really worry about them too much. I have a lot of lettuce in the other beds. And now look at this broccoli. I didn't harvest it, and it's very loose. So it's going to seed. I'm gonna pull these broccoli plants. I think I'm gonna harvest the leaves though and cook them like I do collards, because the heat is getting to them, and I don't have anything that's like tall enough to really cover them up. And I have quite a bit of broccolis in the other beds, so I'm not really worried about it. I'll plant more in the fall time. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these leaves because they have not been eaten up or anything. And I do like broccoli leaves. I think they taste pretty similar to the collard greens. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of those, just because I know that the broccoli heads are going to be like that, because as it was growing out, it started to get loose. And I was like, oh yeah, like this is only one broccoli head out of all these. I'm just gonna get the leaves, cook them like collards, call it a day. At least I got something off of it. I'm not gonna feel bad just because it's been out in this heat, and it's been like in the 80s, almost 90s. It's supposed to be very hot today. Let me look. It's supposed to be what? It's going to be 83 degrees today. So yeah, I think I'm gonna harvest these leaves and then pull these plants and amend the bags and plant something else in there, because I could definitely use these for all those tomatoes that I have, or the extra pepper plants that I have. I'll definitely have extra peppers and tomatoes, and I might just add them to these bags, or I could use them for those potatoes that I was planting out the other day that I had a whole bunch of them left. I could just add maybe 2 to a bag or something like that. But I think I might amend them and just use them for the tomatoes. But let's harvest some of these leaves. So let's get a few of them. And that happens sometimes in gardening, where you don't get to get the harvest that you want, and that's okay. And that's okay, because I'll eat these just like I do collards. I do it all the time. I just know that I won't do these without a cover during this time of year. I mean, I usually do cover them, but the hoops that I have to cover the bags, I don't like them because they're like flimsy. Like they be like laying all over when the wind blows them and stuff. I don't like it. So and these are pretty shaded in the afternoon. But obviously they're brassicas and they don't love the heat. They'll definitely be in my collard greens when I cook them. They do have a different flavor than regular just collard greens, but not too different to the point where I don't like them. I do prefer the collard greens more than I prefer the broccoli leaves. I'm gonna leave some of them. Oh, and remember I was showing y'all my fig? Look at that. I thought that thing had went to the upper room, but it definitely is waking up. Now we are over here at this green stalk, and gonna harvest. Do I want any more of these? I put these in my collards last time too, and they were pretty good. So I think I'm gonna get a few more. I'm gonna harvest some of the collards from this bottom part down here. That's a decent sized leaf there. Now onto this green stalk, and these are the Georgia Southern collards, and this thing is massive. So I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these leaves. Look at that. This one is humongous. Like, look at this thing. Right, so I'm over here. I'm harvesting some more of my Georgia Southern collards. And these have been getting so big. I think this is the biggest I've had my Georgia Southerns get. Look at this. This is huge. So harvesting these. Now I am having some pest pressure. Not a lot, but I'm having some. But I've been seeing the beneficial insects out here helping me out, so I'm not gonna spray anything yet. I'll only spray BTs and things like that if I feel like there's an infestation. Because if there's an infestation, then I don't want to deal with that. And yeah, I'm just not going to deal with that. But look at this. I harvested last week and they were not big. And now they are getting huge. Look at that. Now look at these. This is one of the most rewarding parts of gardening, is being able to see your hard work. And this year I wanted to make it a habit, or make it a thing that I was starting things from seed this year. I wanted to start everything from seed this year, and I did. And even my flowers, I started everything from seed. And super proud of myself because I love the nursery. I will go to the nursery when I'm in a bad mood, when I'm in a good mood. I just go just to see what they got. And I always leave with something. But I'm super proud of me for doing this and starting everything from seed. Now, it was definitely hard work, but it was worth it. And now I need to go get my basket. I think I need the other basket because this basket is filled up. Let's see. Filled to the brim, and I don't feel like going to get the other one, but I still have 2 more beds to harvest from. But we're gonna go over here. So this is bed number 6, and this is my collard bed. I did number them so that it's easy for me to identify them in the planter app. So I do plan my garden beds and what I want in them in that app, and it just makes it so much easier to see what I have in them. Like, just to be able to have a number for the bed. Like, oh, bed 6 needs this, or oh, I need to go put this in bed 7. And if I need my husband, or if we went out of town or something and I needed a neighbor to do something, I could definitely tell them what bed number, because there are tags, number tags in here to help identify the beds. Now, it was more so for me than for anybody else. And when I was also creating my garden layout, that is how I did it. I was putting the numbers on there because most of my beds are different sizes. Now, I have 2 of each size for the most part. So I just wanted to make sure that I had a number system for my beds. Okay, let's see what else we can get out of this bed. These aren't huge leaves, but I'm gonna take what I can get. This one up here has a lot. And I do love using the number system and the planter app, because that way you know what varieties are in what place in here. Even if you don't have a name tag, you know, you can go and look at your planter app and be able to tell what you have. Because that was a thing for me. I would forget. I was like, oh, I remember. I'll go back and label it. I would not remember. So that helped me. So if you have a lot of beds, even if you have a little bit of beds, I suggest you number them and use the planter app, because it also tells you what plants go well together. So you can use it for that too. Oh, let me get that leaf. That's a big one. Ooh, this basket getting heavy. I wanted to show y'all my little radishes that I saw yesterday. Look how cute they are. Look at that. I think I'm gonna pull it. Let's pull one. Look at that, y'all. So cute. So cute. I don't know if I should have pulled it just then, but I know that they mature fast. So I'll grab one. Ooh, this one looks good too. Look at it. Let's pull that. I think these are the cherry bell radishes. Oh, something been going up in there. I don't want that. But look how nice they look. I could probably cut it off. They look really good. I'm gonna leave the other ones. I'll come back and get them a different time, but they look so good. I have some of the, I think they are called the daikon or icicle radish. And let's see how big they're getting. Oh, this one is nice. They have really pretty foliage. So let's pull one and see. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, I'm gonna just get one of those. And this is the broccoli bed, which I'm not going to take anything out of. I'm just gonna leave it be. I'm gonna fertilize. Oh, but you can see my little carrots are germinating or sprouting up. So they did germinate. I think I'm gonna leave this lettuce alone for now as well. And the spinach, I'm gonna leave that alone too. But I'm gonna grab some of this. This kale has grown in just a week. I was just harvesting out here last week and they have gotten bigger. And I think it was from me harvesting out of the bed. I'm gonna harvest some of this lacinato kale. Get some of that. And I think this is so pretty because purple is my favorite color. But I think it's so pretty because it has like that purple little, it has that purple like vein in it. So pretty. All right, I had to go and get my other basket so that I can go over here and harvest some of these herbs because they are starting to show out as well. So I was trying to see if anything else I wanted. I'm gonna grab some of this Swiss chard and over here. I feel like I'm grocery shopping out of my backyard. Chard. I think I'm gonna get another piece of that. I do like Swiss chard. So lately we have been eating spinach and eggs, and when I don't have enough spinach, we do Swiss chard. So we like saute it down and then add the, what do you call them? And then add the eggs. But I need to harvest a little bit of this calendula as well because the flowers are opening up. So I'm going to harvest some of those. I think that is all I want from here. I'll grab a few more. These are so pretty. I have some over there I need to get to. I just completely bypassed them and started getting other stuff. Let's see what we want from up here. I have some that I should have gotten the other day, but I didn't. Ooh. Allergies. I have some more Swiss chard over here. Look at that. Pretty. A couple pieces of the Swiss chard. I don't know what I was looking at when I first came through, but definitely want this. I love the tone of these colors. They are so pretty. I'll definitely be purchasing more of the zeolites variety of the calendula. I really do love those. Those are so pretty. Now onto this herb green stalk so that we can harvest some things. I'm gonna get some of these chives from here today because I harvested the chives from over by the house last week. It smells so good. All right, now that is all I'm gonna get from over here. But I want to show you guys my stevia and my red, I think it's red yarrow. Let me see. They are starting to get flowers on them. Look how pretty that is. And then my stevia looks like it's about to start blooming as well. But everything seems to be doing really well in this green stalk. My little rosemary is doing really good. I'll probably do another garden tour next week. So now that I'm done harvesting things from the garden, I can go ahead and start fertilizing. I like harvesting first and then fertilizing after because I feel like it gives the fertilizer something to do versus just fertilizing the plants. I don't know, it might sound crazy, but I like doing that just because now there's a reason to be fertilizing because I've taken something away from the plant, so it gives it just a little bit of boost. And I do deeply water my garden 2 days before Fertilizer Friday. So on Wednesday I come out, I call it Watering Wednesdays. I named them so that I can remember them. So it is Transplant Tuesdays, Watering Wednesdays, Garden Tour Thursdays, Fertilizer Fridays. So I like to do that just because it helps me to remember what day I'm on. So whatever day it is, okay, let me go check to see if the garden needs watering. And of course, if it doesn't need watering, I do not water. But I do come out and make sure I make an effort to see before I start fertilizing because it's starting to get hot out here. So I will need to be watering way more frequently than I usually do. Here are my harvests for today. And I have a lot of lettuce and a lot of brassica leaves. So this is all the lettuce that I harvested today. And then I harvested some other brassica leaves, the Swiss chard, more lettuce. I have the icicle radish And these little cherry bell radishes that are so cute. This is the harvest. Gonna go in the house and clean them up and come back out and fertilize the garden. I'm back from taking my harvest in the house. I put them in some ice water and also a little bit of vinegar to help to get rid of the pests that may be on them. So now we can get on to fertilizing. And I think I'm gonna put you guys in time lapse because it is getting hot out here and yeah. So let me go ahead and get started with this and fertilize. I'm going to fertilize by the house first, then I'm going to go to my green stalks. So I'll speed it up when I get over into the sunnier areas of the garden because I do not want to be out here in the heat for a long time and trying to maneuver the camera and talking and stuff. So I'm going to put it in time lapse when we get over there because that is where it's hot at. But right here is okay because I'm in a good amount of shade. I got my watering can and stuff. I'm just gonna pour my fertilizer out of the jugs into the watering can. I find that mixing my fertilizer in the milk jugs is so much easier than me trying to mix it into the watering can because I feel like you can't shake the watering can. So I think it's easier for me to fertilize and to mix my fertilizer in the milk jug because I can shake it up and do whatever I need to do. But I'm trying not to get it on the actual plant, and sometimes I do, and that's okay. You can't always avoid getting fertilizer on leaves and things like that, but I'm just gonna do what I can. Like this one, it's just gonna have to get on the leaves. I probably should have put some gloves on because this stuff stinks. And when it gets onto your like nails and stuff, it seems like it don't wanna like come out. Like that's all you smell all day is the stinky fertilizer. I try to make sure I put a good amount of fertilizer in there. I do not fertilize my blueberry bushes throughout the year or throughout the seasons. I just give my blueberry bushes a fertilizing before the season starts. So I'm not going to fertilize them, but I'm going to fertilize these green stalks. On my green stalks, I like to take the watering top off of this so that I can pour it into the pockets easier. Instead of it being like the shower head, I like it to be just to be able to pour it inside of the pockets. I don't think I'll have to do this too much longer because I did order the carrot caps from Greenstock, so I'll be able to plug the water reservoir and pour my fertilizer through the top without it just all the fertilizer rushing through the middle and wasting it. So this is why I do it like this right now. But once I get my little carrot caps, I'll be watering from the top like you're supposed to. But I feel like I waste so much water and fertilizer when I try to pour everything in the top. So that's why I do it this way. And I just pour, I don't pour a ton, I just pour enough. And I watch it like sink into the soil. I count to 3 is what I usually do. Like 1, 2, 3. And I'm trying to make sure I do not get it on the leaves. Even though the fish fertilizer says that it does not burn the plants, I don't know. I don't want to trust it, especially with the sun being out like this. So I don't want to just get it all over the leaves and then come out and my plants are burnt. So I'm trying to avoid the leaves. This stuff stinks, but it definitely works. I know the first time that I used this, I didn't know that it stinks. And people kept saying, oh, get fish fertilizer. And I don't know why it didn't click in my head that like fish fertilizer would stink. I don't know what I was thinking, but y'all, it was funky. All right, I need another jug of fertilizer. So normally I give my green stalks 2-gallon jugs of the fertilizer. That was the second one that I had to use, and I think it's going to work just fine. I fertilize my garden once a week with fish fertilizer, but every 3 weeks with a compost tea fertilizer. So this week I fertilized with this, last week, and now next week I'll be fertilizing with the compost tea. And if you want me to show you what compost tea I use, I will let you see it, but this is the first time that I've really been using compost tea. And I feel like my plants had grown significantly from the week before using the compost tea. So I'm not saying that it's working, but I'm kind of saying that I think I saw significant growth in my plants with using that. All right, let's fill this up. So I do give my herbs the fish fertilizer as well. I think that they benefit from it, but I don't like to give my tomatoes and peppers and things any of the fish fertilizer. Unless they start showing signs that they need nitrogen, I do not give them the fish fertilizer, especially when I'm wanting them to start fruiting. Now that I have finished fertilizing my garden beds and my green stalks, I saved my strawberries for last. And I like to fertilize my strawberry plants with Epsom salt. So this is the one that I use. I get it from Amazon. It doesn't have any fragrances or anything in there. It's just the Epsom salt. But when I use this, I only use a tablespoon per gallon of water. Nothing else. That's it. And it's supposed to help you to get a sweeter strawberry. There are other benefits too, but I want sweet strawberries, so this is what I do. You can use this as a foliar spray, or you can use it as a soil drench. You can also take a tablespoon and sprinkle it around your strawberry plants, and that should help it too. When you start to water it, the Epsom salt will seep into the soil. So you can do it 3 different ways. But I like to add mine to the water, shake the water up to get it to dissolve some, and then I go ahead and fertilize my strawberry plants. Now I have quite a bit of strawberries that are up here already, but I have quite a bit of them that are starting to bloom and things like that too. So I want to go ahead and fertilize them, and I do this once per month, not more than, not less than, just once a month. I use this Epsom salt fertilizer solution for my strawberries. I use this for tomato plants too sometimes. And this is my Epsom salt, so I'm just gonna add it to the gallon of water. I'm gonna fertilize every pocket like I did the other green stalks, so that I can make sure that we are getting the roots really good. So make sure I don't see any little Epsom salt crystals at the bottom. And I'm only applying it to the strawberry plants that I visibly see some green in. I'm not gonna apply it to the dead ones. I pulled most of them out, but not every last one. Ooh, I have some in here that are ready to be picked. Some harvest those too, but look at these pretty strawberries up here. Hopefully y'all can see them. Pick these. They were hiding in here. I think I'm gonna leave that one because it's not as red as I want it to be. But I have one really red one, and I'm not eating this. I'm going to wash it off first because no thank you. But I got a nice one out. So now I'm finished fertilizing, and I need to cover my beds back up. I already did the ones over there. I already put my insect netting back up and my shade cloth. Now that shade cloth, I need to get another piece because it's not big enough. It's not covering the entire thing, but it's covering the top where the sun is like beating down into. Pretty much covered, but I want to get a bigger piece to cover it up. But I need to finish covering these ones, and then I think that'll be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish covering. I'm sorry if the lighting is dark over here, but I didn't want my camera, the battery and stuff, to overheat, so I put you guys over here in the shade. Definitely, if you have brassicas or things that you don't want, like the cabbage looper or whatever it is, the white cabbage moth, to get on, definitely invest in some insect netting, because it has saved my plants multiple times. I can see the moth just trying to get in the netting, and I'm like, thank goodness I have this netting over it. And also last year I was able to harvest collards and brassicas and things like that throughout the summer because I had this shade cloth on there. Well, I had some shade cloth on my beds to protect them from the sun. So definitely, if you want to be able to harvest throughout the summer, get you some shade cloth or some black. One of my subscribers said to use black tulle. You can use a dark colored tulle as a shade cloth as well. So I would say do what you got to do to get those harvests. And I'm just clipping it on so that the wind don't blow it all off. All of my beds are now covered with shade cloth and insect netting. I'm in the shade because it is hot out here now. It has to be like well over 80, and it feels like it's like 90 degrees. It's hot. So I'm glad I did get this insect netting over top of these beds when I did, and the shade cloth over top of them as well. But I think I'm gonna go inside and order another thing of not insect netting, the shade cloth to fit this bed and that bed over there better, because these ones are really, really covered. And I want all of them to be covered up pretty good. I think I need to get some more clips too, because I don't have enough to really hold the netting on like I would to secure it like I would like it to be secured. But yeah, this is the end of this video. I hope that you like this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post more videos. Thank y'all for watching. See you next time. Bye guys.